looks like we're live on my phone for the first time. We'll see. Let's see if I can do some sherry kind of stuff here. Hello, hello, hello. Anybody who's coming to visit, welcome to my rock garage. All right. Why is this not? All right, so we're going to stream in portrait mode for some reason. I don't know why. YouTube doesn't want me streaming in landscape mode. Let's share to... It's not letting me share to a page. I don't see anybody in here yet, but if you're here, I'm sure it will be updating shortly. Make sure you say hi in the chat. That will allow me to know. I'm still learning this whole YouTube platform thing. Merry Christmas, everybody. Does it look a little jittery? I don't know. I am out here in my rock garage this afternoon doing some work, putting in some time before we leave for the holiday season. Hello, Debbie. Hello. Merry Christmas to you, too. Thank you for the comment. Thank you for checking in. I appreciate it. It's good to see you. I am out here today just messing around. I'm going to do some cleaning up, do a little bit of organizing, maybe cut some rocks. I don't know. We only have a little bit of time before it is time to leave, and I've got to get dressed and wash up. What are you doing on this fine pre-holiday day? Oh, thank you. It's good to be back. I just found out today that Facebook will allow me to go live right here from my phone. So I'm going to have more freedom to do... I'm sorry, Facebook. Woo! We're on YouTube. YouTube is now allowing me to go live directly from my phone, which means I have more freedom to do stuff like this. Just random, hey, I'm out here. Might as well prop up a camera, see what I can get into. Couple downsides here, being in the Northeast. We don't have nice, warm, sunny days like this all too often. I think today we are... let me flip the camera around here. 55 degrees in the shop at the moment. And that's only because I've got my little propane heater going, trying to keep the place warm. I know it's been a while since we've been live here in the shop. You can see a few things have moved around a bit. But in general, the equipment's all stayed the same. Debbie, I didn't close my Etsy shop. I have not done much. I'm not really selling materials. I've been doing a lot of gifting, donating, giving away rocks, but not a lot of selling. A few pieces here and there on special request, but nothing's really been posted on my Etsy shop. And then when I do start to sell some things, when I do make some pieces that I want to put up or try and raise funds to continue in the hobby, I will put things up probably on my Facebook page. My Facebook page is Lapidary Angel. So I put a link to it down below. So if you're not a fan or not following my Facebook page, please feel free to go over there and give a follow there. That way, if I do post some things for sale, probably not at least until spring, because like I just said a minute ago, we got a shop that's 55 degrees, 54 degrees. Hello, Pamela. How are you? Happy holidays as well. I hope you and your family are having a happy, safe holiday and a wonderful new year. Make 2022 the best for everybody. How's the video looking for you guys? It looks a little choppy to me, and I don't know if that's my phone or if that is YouTube or my internet connection. Hello, Wild Mandingo. How are you? Or Mango. Yeah, I know. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate it. I'm just going to start in a few minutes after I give it a couple to let some people find out about it, because this was a surprise live for us. I'm going to just post up the camera in front of the grinder here and just start cutting some rocks. What I do on the colder days up here in the Northeast, if you missed it a moment ago, we have a 55-degree shop, so the water here is freezing. But I end up filling up a couple jugs filled with warm water, tap water. Oh, you had snow. Yep. We did not have snow. We actually have a 50-degree day here. It is gorgeous outside. A blessing and a curse to this messy garage is that the temperature doesn't swing very often in here. So if it's been cold, the garage gets cold, 27 degrees it started out this morning, and it doesn't heat up quickly. At the same time, on hot days, it doesn't heat up that quickly. It stays cooler in here, so I appreciate that on the hotter days. But on the colder days, it makes it tough to get started. So I've got to wait till later in the afternoon and finish up sooner, even with the propane heater kicking. Unfortunately, that's my life here. But I love it. I am working at getting those ceiling... Oop, I got to go the other way. See how the ceiling is open and it just goes up to the loft on the second floor? I'm working at getting that insulated and blocked off, and that should help with heat retention in the winter months and should help with cooling it off in the summer months even more. Hopefully that stays. Also, because I'm working in front of a large garage door, now that is an insulated garage door back there, but I can add more insulation, and since I don't use it for a garage door, my plan is to kind of block it off a little more, seal it up so we don't get drafts growing in there quite as much. Oh, snow plows are going. We're expecting that this winter as well. I don't know by how much, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see snow plows. All right, here is my grinding equipment. Now, because this is the first time that YouTube has allowed me to go live directly from my mobile phone, I don't have a lot of stuff set up here properly. So you guys are going to get bounced around quite a bit, and I apologize for that. But once I get it hooked up to my little clip up here, it should make it easier to see and give us a lot less bounciness, I hope. But we'll see what happens. Alright, sorry, I don't know how else to do this, except spin you guys around a minute. So we'll just cover the camera for a second. Sorry, it's going to get all kinds of messy, flashy for a moment. Uh-oh. YouTube did not like whatever I just did. Okay. Hopefully you can see everything going on here. No Dremel yet. Dremeling can be fun. Right. I'm just looking for the best position here to let you see what's happening. Woo! All right. So, as I said before, I filled up some jugs with warm water. It's lukewarm. It could be warmer. I'm going to pour some more warm water into the old reservoir there. And we're just going to get started grinding away. See what kind of trouble we can get into. How's that look? Alright, that doesn't look too bad. While I'm doing this, it's going to be tough for me to see comments. As you can imagine, my hands are going to be a little bit wet. So what I've got here is a piece of Thunderstone. It's just an awesome pattern, very hard material. So we're going to start it out. The 100 grit diamond wheel. Just now going for a basic shape. My family and I all just took COVID tests. We do plan on going to see a few family members in the next 2 days. And so just to be sure, we got the at-home test. My nose is still a little runny from that experience. Anybody who's ever had one of those swabs jammed up your nose for the testing purposes knows. Woo! dry this puppy off. More paper towels. Barefoot Hippies, welcome, welcome. It's good to see you. This is one of the stones that you donated. I don't know if there's enough light on that. They are great for wrapping. They're great for magnets. They're great for giving away, for smiles. But that is one of the ones that you sent that big box to me. I'm still working through that material. So thank you for joining us, and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you. Alright, now I'm going to draw the girdle around the middle of the stone. Drawing the girdle is pretty easy. This sets how thick the stone's going to be. And because this is going to be a magnet, I'm going to make it a little bit thicker than normal. I take my fine tip Sharpie marker, right down the middle. I keep the Sharpie marker in one place. I don't move it. And I spin the stone around the marker. So that now we have line. The short side is the back, the thick side is the front, and I'm going to now dome it over to that line. Get some water flowing here. Now you can see Matt's in the house. Matt's Crazy Art. Oh no, it doesn't work the same. Welcome, Matt. Good to see you. I hope you're having a great holiday. So here is the domed edge, just the first cut down to that girdle line. Now I'm going to take the top and just start rounding over the edges. Now it's just to keep cutting 45s. 100 grit wheel is cutting a little bit too aggressive. So I'm going to move over to the 220. Still a hard diamond wheel. It will still cut pretty aggressive, but it'll allow me to get a little bit more finesse in and not take off quite as much material. And also, not give me quite as many scratches to have to deal with at the next stage. Because the next stage is going to be a lot about eliminating the scratches from the previous two stages. And if you have any questions, feel free to pop questions in the chat there. And in between stages here, I'll be happy to jump in and answer any questions that might come up. Happy to jump in. Let's see. Oh, I'm so glad all of you get to have these wonderful chats with each other. What are you guys looking forward to eating this holiday? Are you having any special meals? My in-laws got ham, I heard. That's going to be a fun one. I'm always happy for ham, holiday hams. So I've moved up now to 360 grit, softer wheel. And that's going to help me keep a nice dome shape, not take off so much material that I'm worried about reshaping too much. But more importantly, should take out the scratches from the previous wheels. Here's where I also like to do the back, take off any sharp edges. We had a small blowout on the back, so I want to take that down a little bit. Make sure I get a nice polish going all the way around the edge, the girdle sides. Here is, you can see a little bit of a shine forming. So I'm going to take it over to the 600 grit, which is on the next bank up here. Let's see if I can move us closer into that. And this is going to take off a lot less material. This is what I would consider the first part of the pre-polish phase. I swear I've not dug into the eggnog yet. Alright, stop for a second. I don't really like eggnog, I was just teasing. I use that as my signifier for holiday alcoholic beverages. But eggnog itself sucks. It off and see if we can see any scratches in there. How many hours a week do I spend on rocks? More in the summer than I do in the winter. It's usually only a handful of hours a week, honestly. The time I get to spend in here is all hobby time. This is all a hobby. And so I don't get to get out here very much. In the winter because it's cold, it's hard to get started. Additionally, I do my personal business a lot of time in the winter. What I do to make a living is end of year stuff now. So in the winter time, I'll spend a lot of time doing end of year accounting, bookkeeping, planning for next year. So my hours out here are limited, but thank you for asking. I would like to spend more, and as I get this shop set up, I will get to spend more. Changing the edges, make it look so expensive. You know? It's amazing what spending a little bit of time and letting nature come out will do to a rock, right? Parts you guys didn't see ahead of time, we're taking a rough rock like this, just this rough slab of rock, slicing it into slabs like this, finding the right piece of the slab to show off the rock's natural beauty, trimming it down from that down to this, and then you saw that now taking over from that point. So I went from the 600 grit wheel, now I'm up to the 1200 grit wheel. The 1200 grit's taking off even less material. As I said in the beginning, this is a very hard stone that I'm working. But I have brand new wheels on here, on the first three that I was working. And so it went by really fast. Anytime I drop a stone in this tray down here, I'm going to stop for a minute and go rinse it off. Because I don't know what kind of contaminants are down here. So many different stones have been cut at this point. I don't want to take a chance of picking up a piece of grit, of quartz, or something super hard that will introduce scratches into this. So take a moment, rinse it off, get rid of any contaminants. and then come back, start grinding again. And that's a great tip. Any of you who are thinking about polishing rocks at home, whether you're going to polish with a Dremel, or if you're going to polish with a machine like this, or you're going to tumble rocks, especially if you're tumbling rocks. Cleanliness is key. Getting rid of the possible contaminations could lead to a lot better results of your stones, because those little fine scratches will ruin a mirror finish, right? So you can see after 3,000 grit here, I'm sorry, 1,200 grit, before we go to the 3,000 grit, you can see how much more reflection we've got already. I'm starting to see detail of the lights over my head. Thank you, Debbie. I really appreciate hearing that. I'm so happy you can be here along with everybody else to come and see me do my work. I love sharing it. Absolutely love sharing it with everybody. And now that YouTube is letting me stream directly from my phone, I get to share it more often. And hopefully they'll get better. I'll have better positioning, better lighting. So now this is a 3,000 grit pre-polished wheel. Joining us, welcome to Vincent's Rock Garage. I'm Vincent, and these are my rocks. Please feel free to hit the subscribe button. Now that I'm able to stream live, you can expect many more of these streams, making something fun. It will also help let YouTube know that I should be allowed to stream more often, because I still don't have 1,000 subscribers, so my streaming is limited to the number of YouTube subscribers that I have, which I believe right now is around the 260 some odd subscribers. So that's the limit to the people that can come in and find out about my stream. So now after 3,000 you can really see the detail of the lights in there. And I can shut down my grinder now for a moment, because I'm going to switch us over to, I don't know if I can get all the way over there. So there's that machine over there. So I need to remember next time I've got to put an arm over by that machine so I can see what the heck is going on there. Move that piece of cardboard. Behind that piece of cardboard is a felt wheel filled with cerium oxide. The cerium oxide is a super fine powder of polish used primarily for polishing glass. Glasses, opticians use this a lot for polishing glasses. Because it's so fine, it does a great job of putting that final shiny polish on there. This is what cerium oxide looks like. And you can see it's just a powder. Procrastinator. Yes, we procrastinate and never make enough time for ourselves, right? We need to make sure we make time to feed us, and not just with food, to feed us creatively, emotionally, socially, especially with all the crazy stuff going on these days, make sure you make time to fulfill your other creative outlets. It's so important to stay mentally healthy. It could be something as simple as just grabbing a couple crayons, right? And just doing a little coloring, a little sketching, a little painting. You don't need to have a garage full of equipment and a big expensive set of materials to start doing something creative. But feeding that creativity goes a long way in keeping yourself sane through this weird world we live in right now. So I'm cleaning the cerium oxide off of the cabochon. We're going to spin back around to where I have a better light. Maybe. Hi. This is what I mean by we'll get better. We will have this down in no time. So after that little cerium oxide polish, you can see the lights reflecting. You can see almost all detail in the ceiling up there. I don't see any little hazy spots. Well, maybe there is one little hazy spot right there. Let me see. Did I miss a spot? I just didn't clean the powder. Oh, it's a fingerprint. Yeah. I do. Let's see. Cockatoo Birdman Bill. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I do use DOPS. My last set of stones here. Where'd they go? In this case, I used a steel nail and I glue when I'm doing tiny little guys. I'll use super glue and a steel nail. So that's one that I'm working on now. I have a little bit more to go on that. I do have a wax DOP setup, but I find that that's trickier to use on the little guys. But these triangles I have down pretty good. I know the finger holds. I know where to hold it. I know how to get the pieces polished that I need without using DOPs. And so it saves me some time. I'll skip the DOP in these. So there you go. That's the final. You saw that stone from preform to finish. I think I'm going to do one more. If you want to stick around. I do want to get some magnets on the backs of these. They're going to be gifts for Christmas for friends and family. So these are all going to be refrigerator magnets. And there was one more I wanted to do. Where did it go? Here it is. No, that's not it. Oh, where are you? Got one of those. I've got one of those. That one came out wonky. Okay, so this doesn't look like much right now, but I'm going to polish that guy up. And that's a green. Here, I'll wet it so you can see it a little bit better. That is a green jasper. Are you on this wheel or on this one? Okay, let's move you back a little bit. So you can see everything that's going on again. Again, for anybody who wasn't here earlier, I'm starting on the 100 grit diamond hard wheel. I already have the girdle line drawn on this. It's going to be relatively thin. And then I'm going to angle this. I'm going to cut that down to girdle until I get some nice angle down there. And now cut those angles in half, 45. Got a little chip blowout on me. Have to work around that. Natural stones. It's gonna happen. Alright. I think at this point I'm going to take it down to the 220 grit again. Anybody else stopping in to say hi? It does, Cockatoo. It does give me a lot more control. I just tend to avoid it on the shapes that I do most often. Like I said, this particular try, or what's Barefoot called, the guitar pick shape, I do these frequently enough that I know where I can hold it and keep it against the wheel. I already have a pretty good idea of what I'm expecting, how the stone and the wheel will react, even with all these different materials. Where I tend to run into problems without a dop stick is when I have a flat spot. I didn't keep the stone moving enough. And if you hold it in one spot too long, you end up with a flat spot. Right. So here she is. Now she's wet, so she looks shiny, but she's not really shiny. If I were to dry this off, I can really dry it off. It's got a very matte finish. And for those of you that know matte as in unpolished, not shiny, not Matt's Crazy Art Matte. That's what it looks like when it's dry. After the 220 grit, you can see scratches in there. James Hurley, how you doing, buddy? I hope you got your Facebook hacker situation cleared up. They ended up sending me an invite. I knew it wasn't you. I just knew you weren't creating a new Facebook account. Hopefully you're having a chance to work on some stones yourself, buddy. I'm not pumping out James Hurley quantity of stones today. But we're going to do a couple. I was just saying I just got enough people, or I just got an update from YouTube that allows me to go live from my mobile phone. Which, anybody who's been following along knows that's been my goal for a little while, is to be able to go live from my mobile. But it used to be that you'd have to have 1,000 subscribers in order to go live, and I'm just pushing 200. Dave, Mr. Lapidary Dave, welcome, buddy. Anybody who has a chance, go check out my friend, Lapidary Dave. He's on YouTube. He's got an awesome channel. Super informative. The guy has the best attitude, the most knowledge about stones. And the shows, the people you get to talk to at some of these gem shows, man, it's excellent. Thank you, Dave. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of your kind words and support. These are making a couple refrigerator magnets for some family and friends. They're just little, as my friend there, Barefoot Hippies, likes to say, guitar pick shapes. I just finished up the 320, working my way up to the 600. I'm going to check it out now drying it off to make sure I don't see any major scratches. I do see some here I've got to work out, so I can see here. I don't know if my camera's going to show this. See that edge up there? That's full of scratches from the 220 grit wheel. No, Dave, you're too kind. Thank you. Debbie, hello. Again. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you so much. Yeah, James, I was saying earlier, for anybody who just joined, here in the Northeast, it's 50 degrees out today, which is a bit of a heat wave. It feels like spring. So I jumped into the garage here to start working on a couple rocks and got my propane heater going. And right now we hit 60. Everybody, we hit 60 degrees. That's a big deal. 60 degrees in here in the winter is a toughie. I'm going to move us up to the 600 grit wheel. Had a few ladies use their agate magnets as brooches by putting another magnet behind it. I was impressed. Barefoot, absolutely. Taking a refrigerator magnet, quote unquote refrigerator magnet, and sticking another magnet behind it is an awesome way to attach your magnet to something else. When I was back in the 90s, I used to work at, if anybody remembers, Circuit City, selling computer equipment. I was still in school, and that was my part-time job. And the first time I ever used a magnet name badge, I still have it. Because I was so love that little name badge with the two magnets on the back to clip it on. So I do fully intention to use my magnets as also clip-on lapel pins, tie tacks, brooches. Stop and dry it off. Check for scratches. Check for something I got to work on. Love Circuit City. I used to love Circuit City too. Used to. And then they let me go. When they let go of all commissioned salespeople. And his excuse for letting me go was, well, you're young and you've got a big future ahead of you. You don't need this. I got other guys who need this job. Ooh. At 17, 16, however old I was at the time, didn't understand that one at all. I was like, man, that sucks. Like, I don't need it. So now after 600, you can start to see the lights reflecting in it. I don't see anything in there that the 1200 grit won't take out. So I'm going to move up to 1200 grit. See what happens. Oh, thank you, Debbie. I appreciate all the kind words. You guys are the best. All been there. Big influences on me moving forward as I learn this fun hobby. So now you can start to see much clearer the outlines there. Now we're only at 1200 grit. The stone has taken an awesome polish. So we'll go up to 3,000, then we'll hit it with the Cerium Oxide and see how nice and shiny we can get her to look. Looking good. Looking good. You want to see the blooper, Barefoot? I worked on this. For everybody who wasn't there, who didn't see it, this Fenton art glass. I cut some cabs out of this material here, and I had 2 beautiful cabs done. And I'm standing there showing them to everybody. I had them in my hand, and one went whoop, right to the concrete floor and shattered. Took a big chunk out of the side of it. So if you weren't there, there is a recording of me dropping this stone. Oh. Bill, thank you. Yes, it's taken some time, but I started this in June of 2020. So a year and a half now of cabbing, and it's been quite the adventure. I spent most of my time building up my equipment, buying from estate sales, having equipment given to me, figuring out what exactly I wanted to use. I started out with nothing more than a little angle grinder and some polishing pads. I didn't even use a Dremel yet. And I found out that I have an awesome lapidary society right here, just around the corner from my house, which was amazing. Took some classes there, met some awesome people. Tell you what, that was the biggest jump for me, is just getting to meet the people who knew what the heck was going on, who had years of experience. Me spending time listening to them, getting their feedback, getting tips and tricks, realizing there's more than one way to skin a cat. That, for example, the question you asked earlier about dop sticks, there are some people who swear by dop sticks and won't do anything but dop every single one of their preforms before they start. And there are other people who never touch the things. But as usual, there's always a happy medium too, right? So I just do what works for me. But yes, it's been a fun journey. Thank you. Thank you for noticing. So here it is after it's been hit with the cerium oxide. The color on there is just the polish, and I'm going to go rinse it off. Yes, James, cardboard on the floor. I actually, if you look at that one grinder with all the grit on the bottom, the heavier side, the 100 grit and the 220 grit, I let my rock dust pile up in here because I really, oh geez. You guys, I just had my shelf collapse, so I've got to go. I got to go take care of this before it falls apart. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Have a Merry Christmas. If you did not get a chance, please hit the subscribe button. I will be doing these lives more often. I don't know how often just yet, but I'll definitely be trying to spend as much time as possible doing these live shows now that I have the ability to stream on YouTube. If you get a chance, check out my Lapidary Angel Facebook page. I'll be posting up pictures of work that I'm doing, rough material that I'm about to slab. Sometimes I'll be doing short lives there if I'm working on something, and posting interesting information that I find all over the web. Again, thank you. Vincent's Rock Garage or Lapidary Angel on YouTube or on Facebook. The link is down there in the description, so check out the description below. All right. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye-bye.